Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Johnny Hill producing as always. And we're with you for the next 2.5 hours today, not the 3 hours we're usually with you. Ole Miss baseball, they're in action tonight down in Pearl, Mississippi against Southern Miss. So we're out early for their pregame show at 5:30, and first pitch for that game will be at 6 o'clock. It's kind of a quick show for us today, but a lot to get into. Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm well, Brian. You're right. Everything moves fast this time of year to only 2.5 hours for us, and that will go fast. I think we both yesterday looked up at each other about 5:58 and said, what happened to the 3 hours?
Yeah. I mean, yesterday with the bracket and everything that happened over the weekend, very quick show yesterday.
And this is a time of year of a lot of content, and it's coming at us today with the portal. It's coming at us with college football playoff news. It's coming at us from the legal front with Clemson now joining Florida State for the full retreat out of the ACC. So our guests today are lined up appropriately with the NFL news, with all the Steelers news. We'll talk a lot about that and a lot of NFL things going on. And Bryant, for the people, especially in the early days of Dayton and play-in game, opening round, whatever they wanted to call it, I think after we have that college basketball we overdosed last week. That yesterday was kind of a come down, and now we're back in it. I needed to fix tonight, and we get it with the early game, Howard and Wagner, two conference champions, and then the later game, Colorado State against Virginia. And I hope the Colorado State and the Colorado Buffalo fans are getting along well in Dayton.
Well, yeah,
and there's no love lost between them.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And I remember the rivalry game last year in Dion's first year with all of the
Jay Norvell got dicey.
Got really dicey. So no love lost in that. And yes, close quarters of Dayton. Play nice up there because it can get ugly.
Can't throw down in Dayton, can we?
No. Dayton's where everyone's supposed to be happy and nice with each other, not throwing down.
And looking forward to those games tonight. And Brian, I know you have. I would warn everybody: enjoy the tournament, do your bracket. I wouldn't try to outfox Vegas on these games.
No.
I see too many 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5.
Yep.
A lot of these games are pick 'em.
No, you're right.
They should be, in effect, tantamount to pick 'em.
Sure, and I
don't think there's a single actual pick 'em.
Right,
but
and Vegas knows what they're doing. I mean, we go over that all the time. They know exactly what they're doing, and
very serious about it.
Very serious. I think these lines are set extremely well.
Somebody's playing free complimentary golf right now as we speak.
Absolutely. And
they paid for it, though.
Earlier today, John Harden, obviously, going over his bracket and thinking about games he's going to bet on.
I'm trying to tell him to be careful. That's who I'm telling.
That's really who you're talking about, for good reason. And he looked up, he goes, that first game on Thursday, I'm really excited for it. Michigan State and Mississippi State. He goes, I'm all over Mississippi State. And then he looked up, he goes, wait, Michigan State's a 1.5-point favorite? I'm a little worried now. But, that's kind of how a lot of these lines are set, and I think set extremely well for these tournament games.
I kind of wish we were talking to Alan Bell and Bruce Marshall earlier in the week to see if what they like. We'll get to both on Friday as the NCAA tournament action will be underway in Memphis downtown at FedEx Forum to see if they find it as flummoxing as I do in filling out the bracket. I won't say I usually sail through it pretty quickly, but I sure didn't this time. I mean, except for kind of my final four, I had trouble with a lot of this. This could be one of those, except for the eventual champion. Kind of like in 2009 when Tyler Hansbrough and they came through Memphis, made it look easy. You could have replayed the rest of that bracket except for the eventual champion and had all kind of different results. And then there are a lot of years, UConn's been the beneficiary of, I don't think it was last year, but I do think with in 2011 they were with Walker, and I think a little bit, maybe not as much with Boatwright and Napier. You could have replayed that tournament a lot of times and had all kind of different results, even a champion.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Kentucky 2012, Anthony Davis.
Sure.
I think they win it if you play it 100 times.
Sure.
100 times.
Well,
play the tournament.
Love it.
That's a lot of tournaments between now and football season. We played it 100 times.
A lot of games you played 100 times. But no, you're right. And I think that's even more reflective this year of just all the chaos we've seen in college basketball this season. I mean, there has been so many upsets and so many, you look up and you see a score and you're kind of left scratching your head going, how did that happen? How did that team beat this team? And so it could make for a extremely fun March, full of upsets. And that's what people like. Obviously people don't like it for the brackets and don't like it maybe for the bets they make. But when we're all sitting there, everyone likes to root for an underdog. And I think there's a good chance we see a lot of chaos this year.
I think they really enjoy it in the daytime, Thursday and Friday. The bracket popularity, it's without a doubt. I'm not challenging at all. I got a theory, though.
Okay.
I think some of the bracket popularity during the day on Thursday and Friday is a good way to clown around at work.
Certainly. I mean, why not? Like
Great.
Added bonus to it.
Yeah.
We're going to be competitive with our brackets, but also this is the only thing
that's days that everybody gets to enjoy work like we do.
That's right. That's exactly right. Or they, are they wake up and get a little bit of a cough that morning and hey boss, I can't come in today. I gotta stay at home.
1 year before I was in sports, I had that crud 24-hour crud it hits.
Yeah.
I was really sick.
Right.
Nobody believed me.
Nobody.
And then 1 year here, I was really sick on a Friday. I said, wait a second. You don't play sick when you're in the sports business.
No.
Nobody does that.
No. And, but the amount of – I've already heard a lot of my friends of friends that I have been told are all somehow either taking off. They have days they can take off or somehow already know they're going to be sick on Thursday and Friday.
Do you know I like to make suggestions to our good friend and dear colleague John Harden for Hardenwood takes. I'm kind of living my life through him because he can say things I can't say.
Sure.
He's got that artistic liberty.
Mm-hmm.
This week is the number one week for male surgery.
Oh yeah, no, he brings that up all the time. John loves that. That's probably his favorite fact around March Madness.
It's the vasectomy Super Bowl.
Yes, no, you're right about that. The amount
and you just sit at home the rest of the weekend with a frozen bag of English peas taking care of you,
enjoying it from your recliner. I mean, it's nothing better.
Thank goodness I hadn't had to go through that.
Well, yes, that sounds does not sound fun at all. That's for sure. So.
I don't even know if I have English peas. I don't know if I've ever had a bag of frozen English peas in my freezer.
That's a good question.
Speaking of food, and it's a great time to segue, isn't
it?
Sure, perfect. Perfect time. Did you see John Rahm's Masters dinner menu?
I saw it, and then I accidentally clicked something, and it was on my Twitter, and I accidentally, I guess, clicked refresh, and it went.
The two of us would starve to death.
Well, I
can make that prediction.
I guessed as much.
I'm going to start with, and I'm going to do the English version because I cannot correctly pronounce in Spanish what it is. Spicy Basque chorizo potato.
Huh. Okay.
What is that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Hard pass.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
No shot at Mrs. Rahm, his mother, but then it's Mama Rahm's classic lentil stew. No way.
Yeah, no thank you.
No way. Creamy chicken fritters confit potatoes. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I'd probably pass
I would have frozen English peas to apply to my crotch before I would have that in my refrigerator.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Basque, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Crab salad potato.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'll pass on it.
I'm going to pass too, Brian.
Yeah.
Then we get to ribeye. Okay.
Right,
with lettuce and peppers. You can pass on all the lettuce and peppers. Just give me big rare meat.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'll eat that. Sure.
Or white turbot Navarra white asparagus. No way.
I'll pass.
I don't want any asparagus.
Yeah, no, thank you.
White, green, none.
No, thank you.
Dessert, puff pastry, cake, custard, and chantilly cream.
Sounds good to me. I don't know what it is, but I'll give it a try. Why not?
If you're at Augusta National, trust me, Just keep it simple and order the peach ice cream.
Yes.
I starved to death at trying to eat that menu. No way.
Yeah.
Good luck, John Rahm.
Yeah, good luck, John Rahm. Maybe if I saw it, but reading it does not sound very good.
Last year, the Scotty Scheffler menu was made for us. It was basically beef, and more beef.
I mean, that sounds like Scotty Scheffler. That sounds like the menu I would get from him. But
In about 3 weeks, when we do our first golf picks, who do you think the number one pick will be by our guest, John Goen? He always goes first, and he's champion. Who do you think he will pick first? It's got to be Scotty Scheffler.
I think he'll pick Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy.
It's got to be. If he putts at all, it won't be close.
That's the age-old question with Scotty Scheffler.
It is.
What's that putter doing? But yeah, I think it'll be an easy Scotty Scheffler.
Does Rory go in our first four?
Wow. I say no.
I think it's real close. I'm with
close, but I'll lean.
Does defending champ John Rahm go in our first four?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, I think so. But wow, I didn't know we were that close to golf.
We are
being back. I'm excited.
We are really close. Are you going to get up tomorrow morning and watch the Soul Series bright and early, 4:00 our time, Central?
5 o'clock our time.
Same time zone.
I believe 5 o'clock our time.
Is it?
I think so. I think I saw that, but I'll go and check. Certainly not if it's 4 o'clock. Definitely not waking up 4 o'clock. Not waking up 5 o'clock either. I threw this out to John because John's great idea was I'll go home and take a nap. And right after my show today, I'll take a nap. I'll wake up, watch the first 4 games, and then watch a movie, and then stay up all night watching baseball. And then at 5 o'clock, I'll watch the Dodgers and Padres. I said, John, or you could just record it and watch it when you wake up. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
Doesn't he know we know him better than that?
Yes.
Okay. 5:05, you're right. 5:05 Central Time.
On ESPN. Dodgers and Padres. They've been over there playing
the Soul Series.
Various Korean teams, but now they'll start their season. I originally thought
I would starve in Korea too. I'm gonna pass on the Soul Series like I did John Rahm's menu.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, hey, if you're an early bird and want to wake up for it, by all means.
Well, I'm an early bird, but I'm not that early.
No, I'm not waking up at 5 o'clock.
I can wake up on my own for anything from about 5:45, 6 o'clock on, but that hour, 4:30, I got to set an alarm.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. So that's tomorrow and Thursday, both at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then they get a little bit of time off before they, kick their season off.
Our friend Blake Lovell just had a great tweet. Did you see it by any chance on?
I did not know. Since
1990, 30 of the 33 national champions have won their NCAA tournament first round game by 15+ points.
Holy cow!
The 3 who didn't, UConn, 2014. That was one. That was Napier and Boatwright.
Yep.
Syracuse by 11, 03. That was Carmelo.
Wow, sure was.
That was Rick Barnes' only Final Four, too, with Texas.
Yeah.
And Arizona by 8 in 1997, and the Wildcat run started here in Memphis, their first and second round game. They were lucky to win. I think that was the year Eric Musselman's dad, Bill Musselman in South Alabama, almost beat them in one of those games, if I remember correctly.
Wow, interesting. So maybe watch these first games and then decide who you're going to bet on to be your national champion.
But that's not how we do the bracket, though.
No, it's not. And I have I actually don't have my champion. I did a bracket last night, had one champion. I was looking at it today, had a different one. So who knows? Brackets are brackets, they're just
some
very
big numbers from the college football playoff people today, and almost $8 billion.
Brett, holy
$8
cow.
billion.
It always amazes me how it can be the middle of the offseason for college football, and they never stop. I mean, there's always some sort of college football.
I don't think today's news was coincidental either. No. I think they wanted to time it out.
I think so.
Get it out there around. It's not going to steal the basketball limelight. No. And basketball's going to benefit from a lot of that money, too.
Sure. So I'm glad it came out today. It was interesting to see. And also, like you mentioned, Clemson now getting in there with Florida State is also very interesting.
I like the wording. Clemson said that the the exorbitant exit fees were unconscionable and unenforceable. That's quotes.
Yeah.
The law don't really look at your definition of unconscionable that often.
Not.
They do look at unenforceable.
Sure.
But your unconscionable may not be their version of it.
Yes, could be very different.
Your version of unenforceable may not be too.
It could. It really could. But no, that was interesting to see earlier today. So we'll talk a lot about that, especially at 4 o'clock when we talk to Brent Beer. But let me set up today's show. Before we get to top and not top story of the day, 3:30, Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, he'll join us. Our last regular visit with Dave until we get closer to the football season. A lot to talk about. Game week, yes, which, Brett, believe it or not, it'll be here before we know it, I'm afraid. The time runs fast. So we'll talk a lot to talk about with Dave today, obviously, with the Tiger season complete, transfer portal. What does this offseason mean for Penny Hardaway? Also, probably get a little bit, a question or two about spring football for Dave Woloshin, that spring game coming up in just a couple of weeks on April 20th.
Stadium plans?
Stadium plans, a ton to get to. I mean, we could talk to Dave for 2 hours today and be fine with all that we could talk, Tigers-related stuff we could talk about with Dave. 3:45, Grizzlies, they were in action last night in Sacramento against the Kings. They came up short, did force overtime, though. A fun game. We'll talk Grizzlies at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. He'll join us, talk all the college football news that have come out over the last couple of days. We'll also get his thoughts on March Madness with a lot of SEC, a lot of ACC teams in there. So we'll talk a little bit of that as well with Brent at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we're going to go start, I guess I should say. We're going to start going through our bracket. We'll start on the left side today. We'll run through the entire left side of the bracket all the way to that national championship game. Tomorrow, we'll do the right side and kind of complete that bracket. But we'll do that at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant. He'll join us to talk some NFL, a lot of NFL news out there as well. But it will be a shorter segment with Bo today. We'll go with him about 17 or 18 minutes, and then we'll have to jump at about 5:17, 5:18 or so. We'll have to get into an early Taco Bell crunch time. Like I said earlier, we're out at 5:30. Ole Miss pregame for their baseball game tonight against Southern Miss. That pregame show will start at 5:30. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Head out to Family Leisure right now. They've got factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Make sure you get out to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill. This is Sportstime, and we're with you until about 5:25 or so, 5:30. And we want you to be a part of our show at 901-360-8255 to text or to call, and all our guests will join on the Sissy's Log Cabin text, talk, and guest line. We want you to be a part of it at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. You can call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. And you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story, we had a day off yesterday from the college basketball madness after what was a very interesting, I think, really week in college basketball with all of the upsets and things happening in the conference tournaments. College basketball is back tonight. We've got the first 4 games in Dayton starting tonight. They'll start at 5:40 on True TV. Get that guide out, figure out where True TV is. The 16 seeds Wagner and Howard will go first at 5:40. Then it will be followed around 8 o'clock. We know that'll probably get pushed a little bit. Colorado State and Virginia for the 10 seed in the Midwest region. Both those games on True TV. So we'll get us started. We'll get 2 more games tomorrow night, also on True TV to wrap up the first 4 in Dayton before Thursday. It really gets wild. But I do really like these 2 games tonight. Wagner and Howard, I was able to see a little bit of Howard during their conference tournament. I've seen a little bit of Wagner. Not a huge Wagner fan by any means. So that should be a fun game, 16 seed up in the air. But really, the kind of style mismatches we could see in Colorado State and Virginia later tonight could be a really fun one. Colorado State, a really hot start to the season, but kind of cooled off late in conference play. Virginia on the other side, it's kind of been a roller coaster season all over, up and down, really all year long. There'd be some games where they'd come out and they'd look like, a top 25 team, a top 15 team in the country. There were other games where they came out and looked like they were nowhere close to being a top 25 or really a tournament team. So it's going to be an interesting game tonight. Both these games I'm really excited to watch tonight.
I am too. I'm looking forward to the action tonight, and I think it's the best Dayton we've ever had. My top story, 2 seed and potted in a cozy Charlotte and with the SEC Player of the Year with Dalton Connect, and he's projected to go anywhere from 3rd to 15th when you look at all the mock NBA drafts. They're in Charlotte for the first round. It's time for minimum Elite 8 run for Tennessee and Rick Barnes. St. Peter's an opening game. Tennessee got absolutely trounced last week in Nashville, run out of the building by Mississippi State Connect. 4 of 17 that day. He didn't really connect. 14 points. Rick Barnes, all-time, 27 and 26 in NCAA tournaments at a lot of different stops. But he managed to lose in 2007 with the National Player of the Year and Kevin Durant in the second round. He went 1-1 in the tournament with Kevin Durant.
How about that?
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's got to be Clemson filing a lawsuit against the ACC over exit fees. Obviously, we've talked a ton about this when it happened with Florida State earlier this year, right after the college football season. But now Clemson is in. We knew about kind of the unrest in the ACC. There were a handful of teams that had voiced their frustration, their displeasure with the conference and how they had been handling various things. Florida State, obviously the loudest and most eager to get out of the conference, but now it looks like Clemson is right behind them. I felt like we kind of thought that Clemson would be a team that would kind of try to go after the ACC just like Florida State, but really kind of wanted Florida State to get out there first, see what Florida State had, and now after they've seen that, they're now in the game. What does this mean
next
for the ACC? It's a good question. Maybe North Carolina, I could see, maybe in there. I think there's a handful of teams. I think, what do we have, that 7 group of teams that were all very unhappy with the ACC? I think all of those teams could eventually be in the same boat with Florida State and Clemson. What does this mean for the ACC? I don't think it's great, and it probably means that something could happen and that a lot of these teams decide to leave their conference. So what would they do then? I don't know. They're just now adding Stanford, Cal, and SMU. So it's going to be a weird and I think uncomfortable ACC in football, college basketball for the next couple of years until they get all this sorted out.
I know we don't have time today, but and we'll get to it. We will before the season starts. I want you to look at SMU's football schedule for next year and tell me, seriously, is it that much better than the Tigers' football schedule for next year?
I'm excited. I haven't looked at SMU's schedule, so I'll have to take a look at it.
And again, keyword, that much better.
Sure.
Because I think the Tigers play FSU. I don't think SMU does.
Oh, wow.
But for another day.
Yep.
My not top story, 8 SEC coaches in this NCAA tournament, all in at least their second head coaching spot, some much more. Lamont Paris and Todd Golden, both 0-1 in NCAA tournaments, and both at their second NCAA tournament spots. USF for San Francisco for Todd Golden, University of San Francisco, and Tennessee Chattanooga for Lamont Paris. They're each 0-1 in NCAA tournaments. Nate Oates in his second NCAA tournament second job, Buffalo first before Alabama. The other 6, third stop for Cal, we know, in college. Yep. Buzz Williams, also third stop for Chris Jans. Fifth stop for Rick Barnes.
Wow.
Fifth stop. What this says, you got to have some seasoning. You got to have seasoning. And Coach Bruce Pearl in his third spot, too. Yeah. Milwaukee, Tennessee, and Auburn. You got to have seasoning. You don't just waltz in from East High School and take over college basketball.
No. Can't. It's impossible. It really is. Well, I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we're talking to the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has acres of new Chevys and GM certified in stock, ready for immediate delivery. A $6 million used car inventory and cars and trucks for every budget, and a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $99.95. If you've been turned down by another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and SunriseMemphis.com is home of guaranteed credit approval. Cars and trucks may not be free, but at least they're affordable at Sunrise. Together, let's drive to the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We gossip $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, $39.85, MSRP $22,320. Sportage R7, $24,7640, MSRP $29,635. Telluride RG, $49,9963, MSRP $41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There is a couple of accidents out here in their clearing stages. Right now we're seeing traffic run a little bit heavy again this afternoon. Not as bad as it was the last couple of days on 40 East across the Hernando de Soto Bridge coming over from West Memphis. It's because the 55 still under construction there on that bridge as traffic increases at times. 55 down through DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Let's welcome longtime voice of the Tigers and host of Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Dave Woloshin to talk Tigers football and basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Dave Woloshin joins us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line. Talk some Tigers. Dave, thanks so much for joining us, and it's been a handful of days since that loss to Wichita State that ultimately ended the Tiger basketball season. But what'd you make of that game? You were down there calling it on the radio. We were watching it here on Thursday afternoon. Tigers are down. They get, big start to the second half for Wichita State. And then Tigers kind of make a run. It looked like they were going to come back. Wichita State could not hit a shot for a long stretch there. Looked like the Tigers were going to come back and win it. Ultimately, they're not able to get it done. What did you make of that performance down in Fort Worth?
Well, like you, I was baffled to begin with because they did not have any kind of defensive intensity in the first half. And then, if you recall the UAB game, they poured it on. And I'll be honest with you, there was that drought you were talking about. I believe Wichita State went 6 minutes and 20 seconds without a field goal in that game. Memphis made a 17-2 run. Memphis took a 58-57 lead in that game, and I thought, oh, man, thank God I packed enough for a long run because, this is the first time they're playing. Wichita State had played a game. They found their rhythm. They gotten the butterflies out. Now Memphis has righted the ship, and here we go. I think this is the beginning. Can't wait for UAB and Andy Kennedy tomorrow. And then they didn't do it. Give Wichita State a lot of credit. Memphis never played a consistent game of defense like they should have. They had opportunities. Sometimes they watched David Jones with the ball too much. I'm not as sure that they really wanted to play another day the way the last few minutes of the game ended up. And that was it. Tigers are out. They didn't want to play in the NIT because what point was there? Some of them, like Jonathan Pierre, were getting ready to enter the transfer portal. And I don't think this team really wanted to play another game together. And that was a part of it. And that's the end of this year. And it was a disappointing year because you were at one time 15-2, number 10 in the country, and it all went away.
Dave, I know you got back home. It took a while to get back home with travel issues kind of on the fly because most of the charter service was set up to come back, much later than turning around on Friday. I know you got back, and sources tell me you go out to Miramichi on Saturday and have a 37 on the back.
Not 37, 39. 39. I did play well. I shot 40.
My source may have told me 39. I'm sorry.
I shot 44 in the front, and then figured out. I know this sounds like it's impossible, but I stood taller over the ball.
Stand tall, Dave. Stand tall.
And I had a couple of birdies and struck the ball really well. So I was very proud of that side because that's the harder 9.
Yes, it is. You know my Far City source, don't you?
Since you brought that, you've got sources everywhere. And I know that. I did want to tell you, since you brought that up, Miramichi has again signed up to be a sponsor of our wonderful radio station.
Great.
So you'll be hearing from beginning of April through September more on the great Miramichi. How about that?
And we look forward to that and hearing you talk about it and what they've done. And our mutual friend that I've known my whole life informed me of that last night. Dave, this basketball season, it very kind word, finished underwhelming. When did you first fear that the lug bolts were loose, that it might finish up underwhelming?
That's an incredible question. Because to be honest with you, I just never really thought it was going to. I thought,
Dave, that's a fair answer, because I know you're optimistic, and I felt optimism last week. So maybe it hit you like a bolt of lightning Thursday at Dickies Arena. That's a fair answer.
It is, and I'll tell you, it's the last few minutes because, like I just said, when they went up 58-57, I'm betting you we're actually going to beat UAB tomorrow. I thought the same thing.
But it was reminiscent of the Rice game, and that was certainly a low point of the year. But the Tigers got the lead back in Rice late.
Right, and that's true. They did, and then that went away too. There is actually, now that you say that, because I hadn't actually correlated those two, but that is a very good comparison. The same darn thing happened, and I'll tell you this. There's an insider that traces this back. When Memphis was up 20 in the second half against South Florida, and there was an argument between Malcolm Dandridge and David Jones on the bench. That, in that person's mind, was the beginning of the end. And it all comes down to chemistry. This team had the pieces to be a team that could have gotten to the second weekend if they played like a team, if they liked one another, if they cared more about winning than getting theirs. And in the end, and it's 2020 hindsight, but in the end, that is what I think undid this team.
Dave, since you mentioned it, I wasn't going to go to a lot of chemistry divisive issues, I promise. Since you brought it up and that you said that insider made that point, player or players that were the most divisive on the team? Was it more than 4 or 5? Was it 1 or 2? Did 1 or 2 spoil the whole pot, or was it just dysfunction? You even got DJ Jeffrey's dad weighing in on dysfunction this week.
Wow. DJ Jeffrey's dad is?
A quote from Drew Hill at the Daily Memphian. Drew covered the SEC tournament weekend for the DM and got quotes from DJ Jeffrey's dad talking about dysfunction.
Well, DJ Jeffrey's dad wanted him to be a 2 shooting threes in the corner, and fortunately, better coaching than him got that kid to become an all-around player and really help his team get into the NCAA because he wasn't a 3 corner shooter. So, everybody has to evolve and change, and that's what happened with DJ Jeffries. My opinion is there were 2 guys, I think, I'm not going to name them, that were the guys that were chemistry problems. I think, and I'm not going to add him in this, I'll bring up his name, because I think he did play hard, but he just is not a consistent player, and that's Quinterly. And if he didn't play well, Memphis didn't play well. And that was obviously very true in that game. What was he, 3 of 15 in that game? Something like that. And your point guard can't take 15 shots if he's not shooting well. He's got to decide to give the ball up more, or he's got to shoot better. And he didn't, and that hurt.
We mentioned it earlier. Jonathan Pierre's already entered the transfer portal. He entered it right when it opened. It was actually announced the night before it opened that he would be in it. Nicholas Jordanis said he's going to be back. I'll take his word for it until I see anything different. So that kind of leaves you with a handful of players that are up in the air. Jalen Young, Ashton Hardaway, Carl Sharonfont, and David Jones. When you look at those 4 guys, what do you think the likelihood of those guys coming back? Which do you think are more likely to leave?
Well, I think like Penny does, 60-70%, based on some of the things that David Jones has said. I think there's a real good chance he'll come back, provided the NIL money is there that he wants. He not being on any mock drafts, not being on any of the 1, 2, or 3 team All-Americans, not being a finalist for the Wooden Award, which by the way, I cast my vote yesterday. I think there's a chance he's going to come back. No mock drafts. That's the big thing. So, let's be honest. If you were even a 2-way guy, if you made it as a 2-way guy in the NBA, you got a chance to make $400,000. But if you're just a regular G League guy, riding buses, playing in front of 400, 500 people. You know what you make? You make $42,000. You can definitely make more than that coming back and getting NIL money at most schools. So, I think he's positioned that way. It may end up being a bidding war, and if Penny can find the matching NIL money, I think he wants to come back. I know he likes Penny. And the thing about David is David is talking to people about coming to Memphis. So he could help recruit guys that might help this team. So I think if there's a guy that's critical to reloading, and I'm not saying he's the end-all because you always have alternatives and things have a way of working out, but the most important one would be David Jones. And I think Jourdain will be back. Jalen Young, if he comes, that's fine. If he doesn't, I think that's a replaceable position because what does Jalen Young really bring? Yeah. He's a very good defensive guy on the perimeter. He's a nice kid. I think he's a good soldier for chemistry in that regard, but he's not a good offensive player. He's not a true point guard. He had under a negative ratio. It was close, but it was under even. And so that is not as critical a piece to bring back. If he does, I'm okay with that, but it's not critical.
What's a role for Carl Sharon-Font and Ashton Hardaway for next year with the Tigers?
Well, I've said this before for Penny's son, Ashton, and he's a California kid. He might be a little homesick. I've actually heard he's considering going. I hope that's not the case because I know his dad loves him, and I hope he stays for that reason. But I think he's got to make a decision, or Penny's got to make that decision, or whatever coach it is. He's either got to do one of two things. He's either got to slim down to try to get a little bit quicker because he can't guard a three by any means. It's just too slow. So he's either got to do that because he can shoot the ball and probably get a little bit better at ball handling, or he's got to gain weight, and he's got to become a step-out four, which I think is the more obvious, easier route for him to take. His body can handle more weight so that he can guard fours because he can't guard a three. Guard fours and be a step-out guy and make it a problem for a defense. So I think he's got to do that. For Carl Sharon-Font, you look at him, you look at his quickness, he can defend. I wish Penny had used him more this year. That's not my decision, and I'm not a coach by any means. They see him in practice. I really don't. But I honestly think he could be a player. Hey, look, he was preseason freshman of the year in the league. They never got a chance to really see what he could do. So I hope he comes back, but I don't know that he will.
Yeah. Talking to Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers. We got a little more clarity on what's going to happen at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium with the phases, how they're going to go about the getting ready for this new stadium. What did you make of what we learned earlier this week about Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium?
Well, I'm glad you got a plan. Right. It's a 2-year plan. I'm not crazy about that, but that's just the way it's got to be because it took so long to get all the financing and everything else into place and to get the transfer from the city to the school, the being the landlord of that building. So that took a while. I know initially they were going to really redo a press conference, a press box, and that is not going to be the case, but they will make the second floor of those suites on the east side a working press box, and I believe they're going to spend some money and do that, I hope, the right way. And then, you're only going to have 30,000 for 2 games. I hope that for the Arkansas game that they could have everything there so you could get 50,000, but I don't think they will. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I think in the end you're going to love it. I hope they get to phase 3. Because if you look at the two pictures, excuse me, you'll see on the west side where the old press box used to be, they're going to put a whole new, ultra incredible suite structure, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to all be luxury suites, luxury boxes, all enclosed. Fantastic. Then you're going to have 24 rows on the bottom. During phase 2, or at least the first picture, you see this party deck where all the premium seats are. You see this party deck that's really wide. In the last picture, which I'm assuming is phase 3, is a much smaller party deck, and then seats that go up to those luxury boxes, if you follow me. I hope in the end they get to that, because I like the concept of the party deck, but you're taking out so many prime seats where season ticket holders who have been good to you over all these years have had their seats. I hate to see those go away, because that's a prime revenue stream. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not arguing against the concept of that deck where anybody can just go and congregate and be on the 50-yard line. That's kind of cool, and they'll have beer sales there. But in that first picture that you see, it's really wide, and you don't have any seats between that and the luxury suites. I like the third version, the last picture, better, because you're not losing as many prime seats.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about all of it and how fast they can get this done over the next couple of seasons. But, Dave, as always, thanks so much for joining us. And I guess next time we talk to you will be football season.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It goes fast. Yeah. But you know what it really is? It's time to go play Miramichi.
That's right.
Good deal.
Have fun playing golf. Thanks, Dave.
And I'll visit with you in the morning.
I'll talk to you in the morning.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, joins us every Tuesday. Like I said, next time we talk to him, it will be football season, and we'll be talking about what the year could be for Ryan Silverfield's team. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Grizzlies.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Spring is around the corner. That means the sounds of air conditioners cranking up will be in the air soon. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. This month only, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier AC unit. No gimmicks, just $1,000 off for the Choate's Early Bird Carrier AC Special. If your AC is in good shape, call us to get your $60 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC cleaned and ready for the warm seasons ahead. Choate's is here for all your cooling, heating, plumbing, air duct cleaning, and commercial needs. Call us today at 347-8086 to take advantage of these early bird specials. Or to schedule online, visit ChoatesHVAC.com. So turn to the experts with Choates. And remember, let our family serve your family.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 24,7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now, I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And we mentioned it earlier, but the Grizzlies, they were in action last night. Part of this long road trip because of the NCAA tournament games. They can't play here, so they're hitting the West Coast and knocking off a lot of those opponents. But last night it was Sacramento, and Sacramento comes out victorious 121-111. But Grizzlies played well, forced overtime, and really got kind of ran out of there in the overtime period. But I thought a kind of one of those fun games that we always talk about, we like to watch, where Grizzlies play hard, it's fun, you're invested, you're into it. And at the end of the game, they just lose, and that's okay in a season like this.
The trap door falls open, doesn't it? And the Grizzlies fall to 23-46 for the year. I think is that the most under 500 all year? 23, I think so. I was wrong on the elimination last night. I wasn't factoring in Golden State. They popped back in the picture, so still not that E out beside the Grizzlies. Let me correct another mistake I made. SMU does play Florida State next year, but we will go over that schedule come July, and I don't think it's that more appealing than the Memphis Tigers football schedule, but I know I'd love for the Tigers to be in the ACC. Last night was a hit to the Jaron playing the 5 crowd.
Sure was. Yeah.
Offensive, fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fouled out, defensive, not fine.
Yeah, fouled out, and then only 2 rebounds in that game is definitely something you need. And obviously, this team is not healthy by any means. But when you're supposed to be playing the center and you only get 2 rebounds, that really, really hurts you. Now, they got he got a lot of help. I thought the Grizzlies didn't do a great job rebounding, but I thought had some guys that stepped up. John Conchar, I thought, rebounded the ball really well. He finished with 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals for John Conchar. He had a good game kind of outside of scoring the ball. But, yeah, I'm just not I don't know if I'm sold on Jaron at the 5.
And, Bryant, between now and draft night, we're going to reference these mock draft sites a lot. We sure are after the ping pong balls drop, and we know exactly where the Grizzlies will be drafting, and everybody else as well. I never mention NBA Draft Net, the mock site, that somebody doesn't text or tweet me that just how repulsive a reference that is. They're terrible. They're crazy. Look, I don't know any of the. It's a little like the bracketologists. I'd like to see somebody at the end and we grade them all. And we know our friend Shelby Mass came out pretty darn well against a lot of the bigger names in the bracketology world. I'd like to see it, but at NBA Draft Net right now, for what that's worth, it's got Zach Edey going 45th to the Knicks. The Grizzlies couldn't pass him over at 38, could they?
No.
You got to try that.
I mean,
this isn't Hasheem at 2.
No. I think you give it a try. And, but Zach Edey's kind of out there, and you look around, and there's some people that have him sneaking in the late first round. There's some people that have him high in the second round. I just don't know what I think of Zach Edey. Yeah, he's gotten better certainly than he was last year, but I think I would take a shot at him, but I still have the bad memories of Luka Garza and him never panning out, but being a dominant college basketball player.
All this draft is a house of horrors, isn't it? It all conjures up kind of the pitfalls of the past, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's just so much unknown in this draft because of how many foreign players are up in that lottery, and so nobody really knows anything about them, and you're certainly
Bleacher Report's got Edey at 33 to the Spurs.
Wow, yeah. See, I mean, that's a huge gap between, and that's kind of the second round for you. I mean, it's not like the first round where you have this consensus, number 5 pick or something like that. The second round's pretty wonky.
But we're scarred. It's hashtag GrizzFam PTSD over Hashim.
Yeah, I guess there's still some of that. I don't feel like I have it as much, but it's there. And I think, when you have somebody like that, there's going to be kind of that blowback of, well, we tried this once with Hashim and it didn't work out. But I think if you take somebody like that in the second round, put him on a 2-way contract, I think it's very different.
Last week at the Grizzlies game, when I went to the Charlotte game last Wednesday night, ran into old scouts always there and visited with him. And I asked him, what he thought of Edey. He said, man, I get that 10 times a day, just all the time. Y'all may not get this reference, but he said, you know what he really is? He said he's a little bit Yao Ming and a little bit Herman Munster.
Well,
I don't think that's complimentary.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't know. I mean, I was not a huge Zach Edey. I thought he was a fine player last year at Purdue, but I was not high on him at all as a NBA prospect. And I really haven't been super
good
high
college
this
player.
year.
That's
good
it.
College player. But I'm starting to be swung a little bit by some people, especially when you talk about second round. Maybe just go, give it a try, give it a stab.
Great point, Brian. Again, this isn't Hashim at the 2 spot.
Right. This is just go out there, throw a flyer, and see what happens. If you don't have anything, then no worries. But if you have something, then I think you feel really, really good about it. So it'll be fun to see. As we get closer to the draft, all of these mock drafts, we'll definitely be talking more and more about what the Grizzlies do as we get closer to it. And also, Grizzlies, they're back in action tomorrow night against the Golden State Warriors, that Golden State Warriors team. You mentioned, Brett, they lost last night against the New York Knicks. So we'll see that game tomorrow night, another late tip, 9 o'clock. But let's go ahead, wrap up our first hour, and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking college football with Brent Beard.
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days, all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best Gossett on the Pike, or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade Triple P 56029, MSRP 30,040, Altitude PD 10 3653, MSRP 41,230, Gladiator PL 570 369, MSRP 64,925, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695 excludes tax, final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Don't let the name Sunrise fool you. Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar don't just make one fantastic breakfast. They're also the best choice for a fast, fresh lunch made just for you. Chain restaurants are focused on getting you in and out as quickly as possible. Sunrise wants to make sure that after you've enjoyed your lunch, you'll be happy that the crew at Sunrise genuinely cares about you. Not in a weird way. They care that your burger or BLT or Dirty Bird are exactly the lunch you were craving. We've said it a million times. Don't settle when there are 2 locations of Sunrise just a short drive away.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders' team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Jason, the main man Marshall's marking down everything on the lot. He just can't help himself.
I love making my customers happy at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
Well, Jason, how you doing it this month?
With deals like this, Randy, choose from 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport. Take your pick, just $275.96 a month.
Jason, how about Tiguans?
How about 0% for 60 months on 24 Tiguans, plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
So hook up with Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, or go online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Just come see me, Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike.
All 36-month lease, $7,500 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Taos, RMO 53314, MSRP 26063. Tiguan, RM 003120, MSRP 30026. Jetta, RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cannot combine APR with 3,000 customer cash rebate. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Offer expires end of the month.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to slow down over here with some volume on 240 East up by Walnut Grove as it continues to build out of the Midtown area on 240 north and southbound. Actually over here around South Parkway 55, it remains closed at least for the rest of this week as they continue to work there on the bridge. That did put a lot more volume of traffic, of course, there in both directions on 40 East and West on the Hernando de Soto Bridge, and especially headed back over towards West Memphis this time of the afternoon. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line. First Coast News in Jacksonville. He joins us every single Tuesday. And Brent, we've talked a couple of times this offseason about Florida State, obviously in the news, their displeasure with the ACC. Now Clemson jumps out of there. They have filed a lawsuit against the ACC. What did you make of that news earlier today?
Not surprised. They have been waiting in the weeds for Florida State to do the heavy lifting, and they have decided to make their move. I think they are a little bit different in their approach than Florida State was. Florida State, I believe, was more toward, well, you didn't do anything to help us in the playoff situation. And I think Clemson is probably still, what I understand, is still a little bit different. I'm not going to play lawyer here, even though I come from a family of them. But as we've talked about now for months, it is lining up, and I still think Florida State is negotiating a settlement from that $550 million, so they can be able to get out. But then, the important thing about this is again the grant of rights. Even the ACC would tell you you can go wherever you want, but we're still going to broadcast your games, basically your home games, on the ACC network or with ACC properties. So that again is a thing that's got to be broken here. But I really do to truly believe that they are lining up, and I'm not saying the whole league's leaving, but about half of it probably will.
Wow.
Brent, I bet your father would have loved the billable hours that somebody's getting ready to rack up. Because there's a lot of sayings out there about things that remain undefeated. Billable hours remain undefeated, and
yes, they do.
And they're getting ready to rack them up. Bryant and I both think North Carolina is next to join the party of two and make it three.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's accurate. I still think FSU is going to the Big Ten. I think North Carolina probably is coming to the SEC. Maybe them in Virginia. I'm sure y'all probably heard something similar. The AAU situation, the academic prestige, that will sell well with the SEC chancellors and the presidents involved with all that. Now, again, the interesting thing is going to be some of the other schools like Miami. Now, what do they do, and how soon do they do something? Also,
Syracuse.
Now, see, here's another big thing about this, too. But people may be saying, well, it's only March. What difference does it make? Well, it makes a lot of difference because, take, for instance, Florida State. Florida State's got to let the ACC know that by, I believe it's August 15th, that they are leaving. In order to, obviously, they'll be in the ACC this year, and that they will be leaving the following year. So I don't know if the anger will be as severe in the ACC. I'm sure it won't be fun, but I can just imagine the signs and the when Florida State goes on these
salutes.
Road games. Yes, yeah, absolutely, and the number of fingers used in waving them goodbye too. Yes,
I think it'll get brutal out there, and Brent, we've been hearing and talking about North Carolina and Virginia. From what I've been told, North Carolina, they're ready, but at the state legislative level, powerful state capital interests are telling them you can't go it alone without NC State. Duke is no factor.
Yeah.
That they have to kind of have to be coupled with NC State, which makes sense since they're both state schools. Virginia, not as encumbered by Virginia Tech as North Carolina by NC State, but powerful interests would kind of like them all to play well together. Well, if the SEC took all four, you immediately go 16-20. Brent, I don't think it's stopping at 20, and
No,
we may not see it. Bryant and Johnny will. I think you're going to, when it finally all falls out and settles for a little while, it's going to be Big Ten at 24, SEC at 24, and leave one more out there to kind of all come together at 18 to 20.
Well, and we've said for years that what we have all heard is that you would have something akin to 50 to 65 schools that would basically form their own entity, either with or without the NCAA, and that would certainly make a difference to almost the legend that you hear about this. The other thing here is what Notre Dame does. Now, it's going to have to be a really sweet deal or some really incredible circumstances from what their beat writers tell you of them leaving their independence once and for all. And I understand that if you keep all your money, why not be able to do that? But are the stars lining up, or the conferences lining up, to where that would be in Notre Dame's interest to be able to do that? And what we understand, again, is the best they could do, not being a conference champion, would be what, fifth in the top 12, and by them not being affiliated with anyone. So keep your eye on the Notre Dame thing. And listen, we both know if Notre Dame calls either one of those conferences, they're not going to be on hold long, are they?
Not at all. You jump at the opportunity. Brent, I love on Twitter, which you can see about anything, kind of trash in, trash out. But I love that some fans out there, I think they're more inspired by somebody potentially being kicked out of the SEC than they are for them eventually. I just tell anybody, the idea, I saw today, what the SEC needs to do is kick out Vandy, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. Mark Keenum, the chancellor at Mississippi State, negotiated every codicil of this. You think he negotiated something that Mississippi State's going to get booted from?
Absolutely not. No, listen, that's absolutely foolishness. No one's leaving the SEC. And look, that'd be insane to do that right now with that amount of money. I've heard this stuff like you guys have, maybe Missouri and Arkansas may want to go to the Big 12. And what? Take a $20 million loss every year? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. These administrators love losing $20 million.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, man. We also learned today that the College Football Playoff has finalized their new TV rights contract through 2031. We knew this was going to happen, but now that it's official, what does this mean going forward for the College Football Playoffs?
They wanted to get the money right first, so they did 29%, 29% to the Big Ten and the SEC. And I may be off on the percentages a little bit. And then to the ACC and the Big 12, I think it's like 17 or something like that. So, but that's the main goal they wanted to do. And then after that, we would do a long-term deal with the television situation. And look, a lot of what they've wanted to do, frankly, is falling in line here. Now, this stuff's not going to happen overnight by any stretch, but it is still going on. And, Brian, I know I say this a lot, but what Brett and I have seen, you're privy to this, that, this stuff was like a glacier, getting somebody to move. But in the last 3 years, I'd still argue that we've had more movement than we have in the previous 30 to 40.
Oh, yeah.
Brent, every time I see conference movement, I think about the summer of 1990 with Frank Broyles and Jerry Jones at the hip as a tag team talking to Roy Kramer and getting Arkansas out of the Southwest Conference into the SEC. the world of the Razorbacks would be so much different if it hadn't been for Frank Broyles and Jerry Jones' foresight. It was it might be a better deal for the Razorbacks than Jerry Jones negotiated for the Cowboys and the NFL getting in with Fox in '93 and '94.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great illustration. And if nothing else, Arkansas had to be dreaming about that SEC money, not even knowing what they would be having right now. And Brent and Bryant, could we say the same thing for South Carolina?
Yeah.
I think the Razorbacks football stadium, pound for pound, is the best in the league. It's not the biggest. It doesn't need to be the biggest.
Yeah, right.
But the toys, the amenities, the club seating, the viewpoint, and Brent, when I was in school, it was a 44,000 seat stadium that it looked like you could pack it up and move it to Tulsa.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's a good point. And look, Brian, for what Brett just described is what we're going to do with the modern-day stadium. It's going to be smaller, but there are going to be a lot more amenities. The seating is going to be akin to what a movie theater, basically.
The restaurant areas are going to be 5-star.
No question. And it is, and that's where the difference is going to be. Now, is there any doubt, Brett, that we'll pay for it, or the consumer will pay for it?
Well, the bar club areas, the bar club areas, like the artist renderings out today, the architectural renderings out today for Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium here in Memphis, that fan interaction area, they're going to want that fan to be there 4 hours. If they turn their back to the field of play, they don't care. They want them there selling them $14 cold beer.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably a $10 bowl of popcorn or whatever too. And look, and people probably haven't paid much attention to this. Florida State's doing the same thing. Florida State
total teardown.
Yes, and they're going to have maybe 50,000 this year, but it will be worth it up in over the next few years. And look, you think about this. How much of this is tied to the grand plan for them of refurbishing that stadium, being in the Big Ten, and having Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, UCLA, and USC come into Doak instead of their ACC brethren?
I can't wait, because all those years the Big Ten says, oh, y'all play all those bowls and those cozy little SEC warm weather dome sites. I can't wait till Ohio State's got to go to Doak Campbell in October and it's 92 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yes, that will be now November probably going to be different for anybody going up there, but yes, September. It will be. September and October will be rather toasty for Big Ten teams traveling, yes.
Brent, we don't talk a lot of college basketball with you, but I know you follow it. I know you cover it. I know you love it. I know you know the SEC. I want to do this rapid fire. I'm going to give you a team, and you tell me what their NCAA tournament for this year expectation, what it is. Alabama first.
I would say they'll win one game and then likely to lose in the round of 32 next.
Auburn.
I would say 2 wins, and then you've got UConn, and then the wonderful season will be over then.
Gators, Florida Gators.
Even though they lost one of their bigs, I'm going to say Sweet 16 for them. I don't know if people realize. Yeah, I don't know if people realize how well they're playing. Don't pay any attention to that Auburn game. After four games in 4 days, you'll see a different Florida team. And if we see the one that was on fire in early March and in late February, they will be a force in the dance.
Big Blue, Kentucky.
I don't get this going to the Final Four stuff. I will go as far as maybe the Sweet 16, and they'll be it for Kentucky, if not before.
Chris Jens, 2 years at State, 2 tournaments, very impressive. Mississippi State.
No question. I would say 1, and then they'll lose the next one. It's going to be hard when you're an 8 or a 9, and you've got that 1 staring you in your face. That's tough. But the reality is, State could beat some of these 1 seeds based on their physicality.
South Carolina.
I think maybe they may get 1 win at the most, and then they'll be it. South Carolina is just happy to be there, and so are their fans. So, frankly, anything above today is gravy.
Yeah. Tennessee.
If Tennessee can score, I think, and we see the Tennessee we saw during the year, I think Tennessee makes at least the Elite 8.
Okay, and last, Texas A&M.
I think Texas A&M, and I saw somebody that A&M in their Final Four. I'm not going to go that far again, and they've got the problem again of being a 9 and then playing a 1. I'll say they'll win the first game, lose a second, but they'll scare the bejeebers out in that second game.
Yeah. When you look at the ACC, North Carolina gets the number 1 seed. After a really good season for them, what do you see a team like them doing in the tournament? Obviously, Hubert Davis took some heat early in his career when he first took over, but now really looks like he's got things rolling. What do you think about North Carolina in the tournament?
I think they'll be fine. I could easily see them being in the, I don't know about easily, but I think that they could be in the Final Four. I talked to a media friend nationally the other day and asked him that same question, and that's what he said, that they it won't be the same North Carolina team you saw in the ACC tournament. They will be ready to go, and they will play well.
And then you talked about that ACC tournament, NC State coming out of nowhere and winning it.
Yeah.
Fun story. They're a fun team to watch. Now they have to turn around and see Texas Tech in the first round. Do you think they have enough juice from that run in the ACC tournament to win a game or 2 in the NCAA tournament?
Maybe 1. It's gravy from there. After you win like that, it still reminds me of what Georgia did in the SEC tournament under Dennis Felton during that the tornado that came during that time too. So, but look, guys, this is I never thought we'd see it growing up, but the SEC no longer has to take anything from the ACC and a lot of these other conferences. And I'm sure Brett's seen the same thing, but I am absolutely amazed at the growth of the league. Now, they need to prove some stuff during the tournament. I will immediately say that, but what this league has done to up the ante and all the numbers and the rankings and how many they've gotten in, to me, is nothing short of amazing compared to what I grew up with.
Brent, speaking of growing up, what was the March Madness moment that made you a fan of the tournament in this time of year?
I'm sure there were some heartbreaking and exhilarating win. Mike Miller for Florida when he hits a shot at the buzzer to win for Florida. I think the Alabama 1976 team that, frankly,
almost beat Indiana.
Had a 3 to 5 point lead in the ball with about, it was like 3 minutes and change on that Leon Douglas team. And then they got a very questionable officiating call in that kind of turned the game around. But Bob Knight came in and congratulated CM Newton's team during that. And again, that's when help me, Brett. That's when you really only had, 16 teams?
Well, it was very cozy in those days.
It sure was.
In 1973 for me, with the Memphis State Tigers going on that run, and I'd fallen in love with Larry Finch and Don Holcomb that in the 72 season. They got robbed, not going to the tournament that year, or may have gone to back-to-back Final Fours. 73 for me, and the Tigers beating Providence in the national semifinals, and I had the TV on, but listening to Jack Eaton, and he said on Monday, and it was the first game of the semis in St. Louis that day. He said on Monday night the Tigers will face Bill Walton and mighty UCLA. They're getting ready to kill Indiana. UCLA and Indiana hadn't even played yet, and Big Jack was calling the Tigers being in it on Monday night, and they did. And my favorite moment is for the Razorbacks when Scotty Thurman hit the Rainbow Three in Charlotte to beat the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, well, and listen, congratulations to my home state of Alabama for getting 4 teams in the dance: Alabama, Auburn, UAB, and an extremely dangerous Samford team that I won't be surprised if Buckyball, the nickname from their coach, if they either make it to the Sweet 16 or they get real close.
Wow. Yeah, no, Buckyball's been fun down at Samford. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend with all of the basketball. Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week and enjoy all the hoops.
Good. Can't wait, guys. Thanks much.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Brent Beard joins us every single Tuesday from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. Talk a lot of college football. We'll sometimes talk college basketball with him, especially on a week like this one. How could you not? Well, let's go.
Brian, was your moment 08?
Yes, I think it's got to be. But I remember that year very well. Pretty much.
I know how it
tournament.
ended.
Yes,
I still say it was a great thing.
It was, and it was a fun run. I remember that whole tournament like it was yesterday. And there's some other Tiger tournaments in there that I remember very well. But yeah, that's definitely got to be the one that jumps out for me. It was fun.
It was
until the end.
I know how it ended.
Yes.
It was still great.
It was fun. It was a ton of fun game, and it's hard to try to take the whole thing without thinking about just that last game. But it was a really fun run. Let's go ahead and get to a break because when we come back, we're going to start looking at our bracket. We're going to do the left side of our bracket today. We'll get to the right side tomorrow. So on the other side, we're talking our brackets. That's next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street, downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days, all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best Gossett on the Pike or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor cars.
Renegade Triple P 56029, MSRP 30040. Altitude PD 10 3653, MSRP 41230. Gladiator PL 570 369, MSRP 64925. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hello? Hey, little sis. Did you get your W-2 yet?
Yes, I did.
Well, you know last year when I told you to file early to get your refund quick?
Yes, I remember.
Well, go ahead and call now, and you can get your refund fast.
Thanks. That's why I love you. Always looking out for your little sis.
To get your taxes filed quick and get your refund fast, go to Brenton Tax Service, located in Midtown Memphis on Madison Avenue. We may not be related to you, but at Brenton Tax Service, we protect you like family.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. Hi, this is Devir Vanunu, Vice President at Genesis. I want to make sure your Rolex dream come true. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event, featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all the hottest models that people wait years for. These are carefully chosen timepieces in pristine condition. During this event, you can take advantage of special pricing and zero-interest financing. And listen to this, with the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, Genesis will give you a pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings for free. That's a $4,000 value. Also, for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your Rolex. So I invite you to join us this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. We're at Poplar and Perkins Extended. I can't wait to meet you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD on the scene of a couple of accidents. It's really starting to crank up with more volume southbound on 240 from Union all the way down to Norris as that traffic lets out of the Midtown area. Now, the traffic flow up and down 240 is busier than it normally is this time of the afternoon because of the bridge being closed there on 55. There's just a lot of traffic that transitions through our city, causing that delay. The locals know exactly what's going on there on 55 on the bridge. Heavy over here on 240 eastbound here at Mount Moriah, getting on to 385. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it's time to break out the brackets. We have all filled out our brackets, and obviously because it takes a while to get through all of these games, we're going to break it down into 2 days. We'll go over our left side of the bracket today. Tomorrow we'll do the right side of the bracket so that we are all ready for Thursday when all of these games begin. So let's start with the left side. Brett, who do you want to start first?
And I'll start with UConn winning over Stetson, and this year marks, since the NCAA tournament began in 1939, Stetson, and there are a couple others, but Stetson was the first one this year. Every single year since 1939, every year of the tournament, a team that making its first NCAA tournament appearance, Stetson's one of those this year. Wow. UConn wins that game. I have Northwestern over FAU. You know how I feel about FAU. I have San Diego State over UAB. You know how I feel about the AAC. So under the 1.5 for me. Auburn over Yale, BYU over Duquesne. True or false, Duquesne has been in a Final Four?
Very true, Brett.
Very, very true. Johnny, you didn't weigh in on true or false.
Wow. He was worried. He was scared.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. I didn't know who to pick.
Illinois over Morehead State, Drake over Washington State, and Iowa State over South Dakota State. Me continuing in that region, UConn beats Northwestern, Auburn beats San Diego State, BYU over the Illini. That's going to be a good game, though. Yeah. And Iowa State over Drake, the battle for the state of Iowa in that game. UConn, when they get to Boston, defeating Iowa State, and I've got UConn winning that side and going to the Final Four. Right?
So for the East, for me, I have UConn beating Stetson. I have Northwestern beating FAU. I have UAB beating San Diego State, so a 12/5 in there. I've got Auburn beating Yale, BYU beating Duquesne, Illinois beating Morehead State, Drake beating Washington State, and Iowa State beating South Dakota State. So ours were a lot of similarities in the first round for us. Second round for me in the East, I've got UConn over Northwestern, Auburn over UAB, BYU pulling the upset over Illinois, and then Iowa State beating Drake. So a lot of similarities there as well.
No blood.
Yeah, how about that? Sweet 16 for me, I've got UConn beating Auburn. I have Iowa State beating BYU, setting up the Elite Eight for me, UConn versus Iowa State. And I have Iowa State beating UConn to go to the Final Four. So that's really
that will be bloody.
Difference. Yes, it will.
Johnny, where's my red Sharpie, Johnny?
Hey man, I might need to get mine.
Johnny, you see what I got out? I got out tissues and the red Sharpie.
Yeah, that's right. Gotta have them.
Hey man, you know what, Brett? I need to give me some tissue and Sharpie, man. I need the same thing, man. But for
Johnny, let it rip on top.
Okay, man. I got UConn being Stetson. I got FAU being Northwestern in the first round. Then I got I got UAB being San Diego State.
Wow.
I got Auburn being Yale. I got BYU being
Duquesne.
Duquesne. I got Illinois being Morehead State. And then in the second round, I got UConn being FAU. I got Auburn being UAB. Then I got Illinois being BYU. I got Iowa State being Drake. Then in the Sweet 16, I got UConn being Auburn. Then I got Illinois being Iowa State. And in the Elite Eight, I got UConn being Illinois to go to the Final Four.
Johnny's trying to draw some blood, isn't he?
How about that? Yeah, a lot of differences there.
Start calling you Count Dracula. You going for
mixing it up.
I love it.
I got mixed it up.
Johnny, you started out west on the bottom of the left.
Okay. On the bottom on the left. Okay. With you talking about with North Carolina and okay. I got North Carolina winning. Then I got Mississippi State being Michigan State. Then I got Grand Canyon being St. Mary's. I got Alabama being I can't even speak right now. Charleston.
Charleston.
Charleston. I got Alabama being Charleston. I got Clemson being New Mexico. Then I got Baylor being Colgate. Yeah. I got Dayton being Nevada, and I also got Arizona winning.
I like it.
Then in the second.
All right. True. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brett.
True or false? New Mexico has been to a Final Four. True or false?
False.
True.
Correct.
Dang.
No, false. New Mexico State has been to a Final Four under Lou Henson, but not New Mexico. All right, Johnny, up top in the regional.
Okay. I got North Carolina beating Alabama. I got wait 1 second. That is right. Yeah. Let me go ahead and go back. I got North Carolina beating Mississippi State. I got Alabama beating Grand Canyon. I got Clemson beating Baylor, and then I got Arizona beating Dayton. And then in the Sweet 16, I got North Carolina beating Alabama. Then I got Clemson beating I got Arizona beating Clemson. And then in the Elite Eight, I got North Carolina winning.
Okay.
Very good. I went and found it. I got my red pen and my tissue out. Johnny, if you're right and you were good this year, you were great this year in Tiger Bankroll picking. I'm gonna need tissue and a new flare.
Oh yeah.
Right, let her roll.
All right, mine, I got a lot of differences with Johnny. I got North Carolina beating who I think will be Howard in their first game. I think Howard wins tonight over Wagner. I've got Mississippi State over Michigan State in the 8-9 game. I've got Grand Canyon beating St. Mary's in the 12-5 matchup, so another 12-5 for me, but just a spoiler alert, that is the only two 12-over-5s I have in the tournament. I've got Charleston, the 13 seed, beating Alabama in that first round game. So Charleston advances to another game. I've got New Mexico beating Clemson here in Memphis, Baylor beating Colgate, Dayton beating Nevada, and then Arizona beating Long Beach State. For my second round, I've got North Carolina beating Mississippi State. I have Charleston beating Grand Canyon. I have Baylor beating New Mexico, and I have Arizona beating Dayton. For the Sweet 16, I've got North Carolina defeating Charleston. I have Baylor beating Arizona. And in the Elite 8, I have Baylor defeating North Carolina to advance Baylor to the Final Four.
Baylor to the Final Four. Scott Drew here in Memphis this week for the games, but then to Los Angeles and then to college basketball's promised land to Phoenix. Out west, I have North Carolina winning over in the 116 game. Then, and let me give the text number just so my Mississippi State friends don't know it. 901-360-8255. Don't direct it at Johnny and Brian. They both pick Mississippi State. I take Michigan State. I have St. Mary's over Grand Canyon. I have Alabama over Charleston. New Mexico and Memphis over Clemson. And I have Baylor over Colgate. First game of the day on Friday at FedEx Forum. I have Nevada beating Dayton. And I have Arizona over Long Beach State. Then back to the top, North Carolina wins over Michigan State. St. Mary's wins over Alabama. Baylor over New Mexico, and Arizona over Nevada. North Carolina defeating St. Mary's, and Baylor beating Arizona, but North Carolina beating Baylor. So on that side, I've got UConn and North Carolina. Bryant, man, we got the blood.
We do. And that's what March is all about. That's what going through these brackets, filling out the brackets is all about. Because, I know looking at this, it's probably going to be in the trash on by Thursday afternoon. But
and let me give the proviso, since everybody's so sensitive these days to the use of the word bloodbath. We're not talking literally that I'm going to try to draw blood from Brian or Johnny or they from me.
No,
so everybody wants to be such literalist about every comment. Please don't be offended.
Right. Yeah, no. I would not let you do that to me. Unfortunately.
This ain't no little bloodbath.
No. But no, it's going to be fun. We had a lot of similarities, especially in the East, Brett, we did. And really, down to that last game in the Elite Eight between UConn and Iowa State's really where it's going to be big. We got a handful of differences in the West, so it's going to be interesting. And then Johnny over here, if he is, 60% right, he's going to have
walks off
both
with
of us dorming.
Walks off with the title.
Yeah, so.
Johnny be spiking the ball at our feet.
That's right.
I'm prepared.
Right. Brian, what do you think's the best game Friday at FedEx Forum? If you just went to one, what game would you go to?
Yeah, I would probably have to say the Nebraska and Texas A&M game. I'm really looking forward to that. We'll pick that one tomorrow. What Texas A&M has done, obviously, we talked about a lot this season. Preseason pick for a lot of people to win the SEC. It's been kind of a down year for them based on what the expectations were before the season. But they kind of got it together late in the season, got enough wins to get in. But Nebraska has been a good team all season long. I think that one's the best. I'm also excited to see this New Mexico team.
I am too. That's mine. That's mine. New Mexico and Clemson. I love Clemson's point guard and post player, seeing them here in person. Yeah. And the crowd really got on both of them pretty good that Saturday. Remember the big post player was wanting to kind of to bring it a little bit.
Yes. And I remember that night and even into the next day, everybody was letting him know that he lost and what they thought about him. But he's back now, and this time we'll not have to see the hometown faithful, so I'm sure he is happy about that.
Nebraska going for their first NCAA tournament win ever.
Wow, that's hard to believe. But here we are, and I like this Nebraska team. Spoiler alert, I'm going to pick them tomorrow to beat Texas A&M. I know they're the higher seed, and so maybe that's not a surprise to a lot of people. But I like what this Nebraska team does, and I'm hoping they win because, like I told you yesterday, Brett, I'm going to try to make it out there on Sunday, and I would love to see this Nebraska team in person.
Will be fun. And on Sunday, it'll be 2 games. We don't have any times yet, but just guessing. I don't want anybody make plans around this. Just guessing, I'm going to guess 1:30, 1:50, something in the 1 o'clock hour. Sure. And then the second game, 30 minutes after that game concludes.
I would love that. That would be perfect for me. So I hope it's something like that. I hope it's more in the afternoon rather than early starts, so that I could plan my morning around it. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously these games tonight, we got a pair of them tonight, Virginia and Colorado State, and then Howard and Wagner. It'll get us started, and then it's off from there.
There's going to be a lot of people in town, and got friends coming in. I know people are coming in to see Nebraska. They're all asking for recommendations on where to go and what to do and what to see and what to eat. And I give them 2 great recommendations. There are a lot of them out there on barbecue, but the commissary with 2. New Collierville Commissary, Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. Perfect for a big group if you're not going to the games, to go watch tonight, watch tomorrow night, to settle in there all day Thursday and Friday and then just enjoy the TVs at Houston, Levy, and Poplar. Perfect for the big group for that Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the slow-cooked Memphis way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary now to 33733. They'll have it ready for you and bring it out to your car for you. Start the barbecue feast with appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales, or the barbecue nachos, the smoked chicken wings. They're terrific. If I did just a bracket of all the great things at the commissary, I know what would be the champion. The ribs or the shoulder. Chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, beans, slaw, deviled eggs, and bread. You can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. The salads are great, the hamburger's good, and those desserts like the lemon icebox pie, the banana pudding, strawberry cakes. Here's the number. Also for Easter, March 28th is the deadline. Need to get your orders in now. Let them do all the work for the ham and all the Easter setup. Here's the number, 901-754-5540. Go online at commissarybbq.com and see the Easter deals they have there. Look at the entire menu. They're in Collierville and Germantown. With the party areas, the orders to go, the catering, the tailgating, and for any time, any season, whether it's the Madness Month or any other time, the Memphis Barbecue at the commissary. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Let's get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app, or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Jason, the main man Marshall's marking down everything on the lot. He just can't help himself.
I love making my customers happy at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
Well, Jason, how you doing it this month?
With deals like this, Randy, choose from 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport. Take your pick, just $275.96 a month.
Jason, how about Tiguans?
How about 0% for 60 months on 24 Tiguans, plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
So hook up with Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, or go online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Just come see me, Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. All 36 monthly, $7,500 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Taos, RMO 53314, MSRP 26063. Tiguan, RM 003120, MSRP 30026. Jetta, RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cannot combine APR with 3,000 customer cash rebate. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Offer expires into the month.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We gossip $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, $39.85, MSRP $22,320. Sportage R7, $24,7640, MSRP $29,635. Telluride RG $49,9963, MSRP $41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my big number tonight, I've been going with a lot of college basketball big numbers lately, but today my big number comes from the NBA, and actually from a player that you saw last night. If you watched the Grizzlies game, you saw him last night, and that would be Domantas Sabonis. 50 is my big number. Last night, Domantas Sabonis had his 50th straight. I should give credit. This is from Keith Smith, our guest that we talk to every Thursday. Last night, Domantas Sabonis had 50 straight double-doubles. He secured that last night with his 50th. Only 8 players in NBA history have hit the 50 straight mark. Elgin Baylor, Walt Bellamy, Wilt Chamberlain, Elvin Hayes, Kevin Love. Crazy that Kevin Love is in that category. Jerry Lucas, Moses Malone, and Bill Russell. Sabonis had 49 points, rebound double-double, and 1 point assist double-double during the streak. He's averaging 21, 14, and 9 during this run with 21 triple-doubles. Just unbelievable stuff for the King star player.
Go through that list again that's accomplished it.
All right, let me find it. Elgin Baylor,
MOP of the Final Four.
Okay. Wow. Walt Bellamy, Wilt Chamberlain,
MOP of the Final Four.
Elvin Hayes.
Not.
Okay. Kevin Love.
Not.
Jerry Lucas.
Back-to-back MOP of the Final Four.
Moses Malone.
Never played college.
And Bill Russell.
MOP of the Final Four.
Holy cow. That's crazy. So you could tie it in college basketball. How about that?
It got there, didn't it?
Sure did.
Everything does this time of year, doesn't it?
It's incredible.
Elgin Baylor, MOP of the Final Four on a team, I think came in third, Seattle.
Wow. Oh, Seattle.
And they were their nickname then, it's not now, they were the Chieftains.
Oh, wow. Yeah, not that.
Bill Bradley, famous for coming in, a team coming in third and him winning the most outstanding player.
Wow.
Huh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
My big number is 32. 32 teams of this field of 68, they've made it to college basketball's promised land. They've been to the Final Four. 32 of the 68, 98 all time. We had 3 newbies last year, remember?
That's right.
It would be something if we had 3 this year.
Well, and Brett, with all the chaos we talked about at the start of the show, with all the chaos we've seen, it wouldn't shock me.
I'm trying, maybe Creighton.
Mm-hmm.
Who called them Creighton last year? Who was it? Who was the TV person that didn't?
Oh, who was that? I don't remember.
But
I remember it happening.
Creighton could be that first timer. I don't see anybody in that top right. Literally almost nobody.
No.
Top left, BYU. They've never been. Could they get there? Iowa State's been a long time ago.
Have.
Bottom left, Bama.
I don't trust them.
New Mexico that we talked about earlier.
New Mexico, that'd be
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's could, yeah. We could get a handful.
It's gonna be hard.
I mean, it'd be hard, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Nevada.
Nah, I don't see it.
They got to get on a magic roll.
Yeah. They would have to, but I don't know. I mean, I could see some new faces. I want to throw out one more since we're talking college basketball.
Sure.
And this one maybe helps anybody that's out there looking to handicap over the next couple of days. 70 is my big number. That is a percentage. I saw this about an hour ago. Teams entering the NCAA tournament off a loss of 20 or more points or 23, 10, and 1 against the spread. That's 70% in the round of 64 since 2005. The teams that this applies to for this season, South Carolina, Texas Tech, Kansas, Clemson, and Baylor.
Boy, and
Houston, not Baylor.
And you know who I stirred up with the possibilities of the first Final Four and with Ole Miss, and I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. That's another great one. How could we?
I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Forgotten about that.
That's when I get in trouble thinking out loud.
That could certainly.
I get in enough trouble thinking in silence.
Well, but certainly out loud definitely hurts. But you're right. Tennessee definitely could be one that is in there. Well, I thought some really good big numbers today, and I think tomorrow we could have some big numbers from the games tonight. These first 4 games tonight in Dayton. But we need to go ahead and wrap up our second hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking NFL with Bo Marchant.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason in pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South, it's springtime, so let's celebrate with the Gossett Mitsubishi Motor Spring Sales Event. Time to go spring breaking with 43 MPG Highway. Do it right with 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for only $19,110 or $259 a month. Go your own way in style with 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $30,150 or $449 a month. Or hit the road in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE $36,165 or $399.99 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Lodge RHW 6614, MSRP 1916, Eclipse RZO 32749, MSRP 30,650, Outlander RZO 12807, MSRP 36,165. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's pretty crowded through the Midtown area right now on 240 north and southbound as we stared at live over here at South Parkway, mostly southbound, all the way down to Norris as it increases with more volume on 240 east, let's say from Perkins, all the way up to 385 as you continue on 40 east now. That's on the increase from Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway, headed out towards Fayette County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. Check out Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now like he does every single Tuesday afternoon on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line to talk some NFL. Bo, thanks so much for joining us, and it continues to stay busy with the Pittsburgh Steelers as they made a trade and now have a quarterback that started last year in Justin Fields. What did you make of that move over the weekend?
I wouldn't say it was a surprising move, just the way their roster was kind of developed after they signed Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, they trade Pickett to the Eagles, leaving them with one quarterback. They usually carry three It seemed like a logical move. I even wrote about it, and I got lucky. I looked right. I don't really think, Fields, because, there's a lot of hype around Fields. He moves the needle. People think, he could become the starter. Maybe he can. But I think this is Russell Wilson's team. I think he's entrenched. I'll go as far as to say that he will be the guy under center. Barring injury or some very horrific play out of Wilson, he's going to be the guy that the Steelers lean on, and they're going to probably lean on him heavy.
Bo, what has been the reaction of the Steeler fandom to it?
Well, people are Justin Fields, and he's a guy that people get excited about. I mean, going into last season, I did some numbers. Jalen Hurts was the only guy higher than him at 16% on DraftKings with money on the MVP, and Justin Fields was 10%. He was second in the league. Think about that. Wow. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You have a guy that was going into last season 5-20 as a starter and really never proved himself at the quarterback position. Now, he's proved himself as a highlight reel candidate. There's little question about, but I think this kind of shows you what type of player he brings, a charisma and excitement about the way he plays the game. And I think that's what the Steelers are. And I joked around, one of my favorite scenes in The Godfather, the second one, is when the senator goes and sees Michael Corleone in Lake Tahoe. And, Michael says, listen, you can have my offer now. Nothing. And I kind of think that's what Omar Khan said to Ryan Poles in that trade.
That's my offer. Nothing.
Yeah, this is my offer. Nothing. And that's really what they got Justin Fields for. That part I love. To get a guy of that caliber that could turn it around. Who's to say he doesn't? I mean, that's it. He could turn it around. For the price of a pick next year, not this year, a 6th-round pick in 2025, I think Omar Khan really knocked it out of the ballpark. So they bring in a guy that they can have confidence in, Russell Wilson. First time, speaking to him in length, he spoke to the media last Friday. It was kind of strange because, an hour or two after his first meeting with the Pittsburgh press, lo and behold, they traded Kenny Pickett. And I just kept going back to that day was, as we all sat in the media room, and Russell Wilson's answering those questions. Did he know Pickett was getting traded? Omar and Mike Tomlin, they were both standing there. They knew, but, you would never tell. Great poker faces. And lo and behold, all these kind of moves come down. But I think the Pittsburgh locker room, or at least quarterback room, is light years ahead of where it was last year in terms of, Pickett, Trubisky, Rudolph. We've come to learn that those guys are all basically the same players, really not exactly great players as well. So I think they give themselves a proven commodity in Wilson and a dynamite prospect in Justin Fields that if Arthur Smith, the OC, can develop or get anything out of, it's going to really, really look good on Khan as he enters his second season as the GM in Pittsburgh.
It sure will, Bo. Well said. And Justin Fields was my guy in that draft that year. He was my favorite quarterback in that very quarterback-heavy draft that year in Chicago. The malpractice that occurred in the coaching that he got there, I think he really flourishes. What was Kenny Pickett thinking? He could go in and power play anybody for him.
Well, you're not going to power play Rooney and the Steelers. I know that. And if you're going to pull that type of move, you'd rather have a Ben Roethlisberger, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Polamalu type background, not the current background that he had. So
maybe Franco Harris, maybe
Franco
Jack Ham.
Jack Lambert, Ham, Joe Green, a lot of talented guys, Hall of Famers included in that list, but
Rod Woodson. Kenny Pickett goes in and starts demanding stuff. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Guys, it's fun not to get off topic, but if you're in the indoor facility across from the on the field, they have a big wall of all the folks that are the Steelers that are enshrined into their Steelers Hall of Fame. And when you're walking out of there, you kind of just it's overwhelming to think about how many guys that you can kind of count and just keep going and going and going all the way back to the days of the birth of the league, and it's kind of unique. But for Pickett, it didn't work out. I don't know where. And again, you're going to have to say Jalen Hurts gets hurt for him to do anything to see the field again. So it's a matter of him learning the playbook and maybe adjusting himself. And it's a learning curve for these guys. You figure he's been the king of the hill since he was at Pitt. And deservingly so. He had a fabulous career, and then he goes to Pitt. He's the darling of the city, and now he's off to Philadelphia, the backup Jalen Hurts. So a little bit of a change for him in terms of grasping what it's like to kind of be the guy second string, not the guy that people are kind of looking to be the starter.
Bo, you really could. You could go through that Steeler history, and you could go too deep. You could have two of everything: two centers, four guards, four tackle, left guard, right guard at center, and just lost a great in Mike Webster, but Monty Dawson.
Alex Faneca,
one of the Pounceys.
Yeah, Marquise Pouncey. I mean, he's going to be there. You get spoiled. You really do get spoiled. I mean, you look at T.J. Watt now. Even Ben. They're Hines Ward.
I'm sorry, I did something you don't ever want to do. I said Mike Webster just lost Andy Russell. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I got to correct
you're right. Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, yeah. And then when you said recently,
I'm very sorry. I made a bad mistake.
Yeah, Russell. A friend of mine sent the photo of him when he passed away. But it's a franchise full of greats, and hopefully they kind of continue that tradition. So you always want to watch greatness, and it's fortunate to be in the position to kind of see him every Sunday do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, I know we're still early in the off season, but what team has really jumped out to you that has kind of surprised you, or that you have been impressed with the moves they've made?
Well, we've been talking about them since we started. I think what Omar Khan has done in his second year is, I mean, you talk about going against everything that we've ever seen out of the way that Pittsburgh goes about their business. I mean, to say, hey, we're gonna pull the plug on Kenny Pickett going into year 3. We're gonna go out and sign Russell Wilson. Then we're gonna sign that was a whirlwind of signings and maneuvers by Khan that we haven't seen. At least I haven't seen. And I even reached out to Ed Bichette, and he said he couldn't quite remember because right now you have Wilson and you have Fields. I want to know the last time the Steelers have had quarterbacks on their roster that have never actually thrown a pass for them yet going into a season. That's a unique situation for all teams, especially a team like Pittsburgh, when you consider the way that they are in terms of lineage and always kind of having that, long history type, long tenured player on their roster. So I think the Steelers stick out. I think the Panthers have been very active. Some of the things I agree, some confuse me, but nonetheless, they've put a lot of emphasis on building up the line. They traded for Deontay Johnson. So I think the Panthers are another team that's operating without the number 1 pick. They wish they had it back if they could. But nonetheless, I think the Panthers have kind of an interesting team. The Steelers, obviously, I think the Raiders, just bringing in Minshew, Christian Wilkins, he's a good interior guy. He was one of the top free agents out there. Go with Max Crosby to add him some help. So, these aren't moves. I don't think the Panthers or the Raiders are going to become dominant teams with some of those moves. But in terms of just helping themselves out, those were 2 teams besides the Steelers that I thought have kind of done well this offseason in terms of free agency.
And, Bo, I realize the Dallas Cowboys are an easy pinata for Hot Take TV, for Sports Talk Radio. I understand that. And they haven't done hardly anything this offseason. And I'm going to defend it. I'm going to try to defend it. What if they really think we weren't that far away last year? Okay, we had the rough playoff game. We did. We know that. But we worked, 12-5, 3 years in a row. There's no need in wholesale changes. We got to get a little bit of help in the draft. Maybe some undrafted free agent or 2 works out. We're not that far away. They could be thinking that.
Oh, they absolutely could be thinking that. And I think on the flip side, Jerry Jones and company, they know they're going to have to give Michael Parsons big money. You're going to have to give C.D. Lamb big money. So, you got to, I know they worked with Dak Prescott's contract recently. So, it's about pinching pennies to an extent. You got 2 high-caliber players that are going to be up for massive, massive contracts. So I think at the end of the day, they're looking ahead in terms of, hey, this is what what we want to do, secure these guys long-term, keep them in a Cowboys uniform, and then, and go from there. But there's still plenty of guys out there. They didn't go out and get any big names, but, like you said, they have a deep team. They're great at drafting. Chris Hall and company do a wonderful job of, putting that roster together and able to find talent throughout all 7 rounds. So I think, listen, they have a plan. They know what they're doing. It wasn't like free agency, they woke up and like, free agency started today. What are we going to do? They have a plan, and maybe they tried to sign a few guys, but you're not talking significant money guys. These are guys that have probably been lower tier guys. We saw the exit of Michael Gallup, which was due. I mean, he hasn't had a good season in years, so I think that was a kind of a writing on the wall pick. Tony Pollard didn't look like the same self without the battering ram. Zeke Elliott helping him, so there's still some talented backs. You got Foreman out there. I still think he's a guy that possibly can help them. And who knows? They might be really excited about Deuce Vaughn, the guy that they drafted last year. So there's a lot of little scenarios, the intricacies that we don't know inside the building. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are thinking. So, but I would look at those two contracts in Parsons and Lamb as some of the reasons why they maybe didn't go all in on signing some big names, because they got to kind of take the guys that are already in-house, take care of them first.
Talking to Bo Marchionte, joins us every single Tuesday to talk the NFL. Earlier today, the Jets added Mike Williams to a one-year deal to add another receiver to that room. Well, what do you think about the Jets going into next season? Obviously, last year, the offseason was all about the Jets, the moves they made, obviously bringing Aaron Rodgers in. We know what happened with him with his injury. But what does this season look like for the Jets?
I think we just go back to what we thought last year. They have to be a competitor. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they're going to be a better football team. They're going to be a competitive team on both sides of the ball. They were a one-sided, lopsided team the last 2 years under Zach Wilson and Flacco and all the other guys that they had under center. They just had no way to really move the ball, and then it put so much pressure on the defense. And that's a long year on a defense when you know that the other side cannot provide points. And, at some points the defense looked kind of shabby. But, I just think that's the pressure they were under. They know going into every game that, hey, it was very unlikely that anybody on that offense was going to kind of be able to help them. But Rodgers, you get him back. You add Mike Williams. Listen, he's coming on. He tore his ACL week 3. So, when he gets back, how good he'll be. I think it's a good signing. I mean, it's all going to revolve around Garrett Wilson anyways in the passing game. But Mike Williams is a nice compliment to that, another target, and we know Aaron Rodgers always kind of craves those targets to throw to. We saw that in Green Bay. You got Breece Hall back there, so the Jets. I think if Rodgers can stay healthy and what we saw out of the team defensively and what they have without him offensively, you got to put them in the mix for a wild card spot, or at least maybe in the mix for the AFC East title. I mean, the New England's kind of in disarray. The Dolphins, they were great. The Bills really had to turn it on at the end of the year last year to kind of finish and win the division. So who knows? The Jets, I think there was 7-10 last year, I believe. So it's easy to think that they can win 4 more games. So that puts them right in the realm of being in a division contender, at least a wild card contender in the AFC.
Bo, you cover the best division though. You do. And next year. You could just pick up. You could pick them. I think I may pick those. Won't be any worse than my picks last year, will it be, Brian?
No,
with the Chargers in the Super Bowl. I think I'm picking the AFC North next year out of a hat.
I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. That division, it's always strong. Patrick Queen, the linebacker who was drafted 2020 out of LSU to the Ravens, he signed last week, and it was fun. He said he's going to embrace the role as a villain. It's part of it. Deshaun Elliott, another defensive back, he actually joked around that Lamar Jackson texted him, but he hasn't looked yet because he's scared to see what it's going to say because he's an ex-Raven now playing for the Steelers. So, and I saw that Arthur Mollett, ex-Steeler, signed with the Ravens today, so they're getting a little bit of payback. I know that's not why they signed him, but it's kind of fun that it's such a integral rivalry, arguably the best rivalry in the National Football League. So it's fun to see those two teams, and especially a guy like Queen come to that defense. Again, it goes back to Khan and the way he's been moving this team. Russell, and then you bring in Patrick Queen, a real go-getter, and that's something I think the Steelers always kind of lacked in recent years. They brought in quality guys, but they would never bring that guy that was maybe a real superstar type, and I think Queen is that guy. And I think you guys know me; I'm a big Russell Wilson guy. I thought he was kind of plagued with bad publicity last year or his 2 years in Denver, And I'm excited about what he brings to that Steelers offense this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you should be. And you mentioned Arthur Mollett, a former Memphis Tiger. So it's been a pretty good offseason for former Memphis Tigers in free agency. Yeah, really have. So that's been a lot of fun to watch. But, Bo, we got to get out early for Ole Miss baseball. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Hey, you guys stay safe. You're always the best. Thanks.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you, Bo. Take care of yourself. Bo Marchant joining us from Eastern Ohio in Youngstown, Ohio, where he covers the Pittsburgh Steelers and all of the NFL. It's truck season, Chevy truck season at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. That's the first exit down Highway 78. You cross into Mississippi, take the exit at Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there. All the Silverados you can imagine are right there at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Get any new Silverado you want. Well, financing down to 0.9. Your good credit deserves it. You get it at All-Star Trailblazers, Equinox, 1.9 financing, no payments for 90 days. Family love these new Suburbans, so we all can do more together. Where are you going for Easter, spring break, for NCAA tournament, or that first big summer road trip? What are you driving? You need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Military, college students, teachers, first responders, healthcare workers. That covers a lot of people. You get an extra $500 bonus back. You want pre-owned? They've got it. Everything you want is there. The Jeeps, the Ram trucks, come drive a Yukon Denali, a Traverse, and if it's not there, they can find it. Ask Jeff or Kevin, they'll find it for you. And Kevin and Jeff and everyone at All-Star wishes all of our listeners a happy springtime and an Easter season. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Go to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, and actually I got to thank Bo Marchant because I did not know about it until he brought it up. Arthur Mollett has signed with the Baltimore Ravens after a stint with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's been a good story for Arthur Mollett, undrafted out of the University of Memphis, but we remember what he did.
Like Bryce Huff, undrafted.
Like Bryce Huff, but has really made the most of it, as well as Bryce Huff in the NFL. Start off with the Saints, Colts, Saints, Jets, then with the Steelers, and now with the Ravens. So really fun to see him with that. And it goes back to really what I learned today is that former Tigers have really cashed in this offseason during free agency. Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson, Bryce Huff, Jake Elliott, and now Arthur Mollett has been a really good offseason for those former Tigers, and it's really fun. You know, we talk about it every Sunday. I love when the Tigers post their graphic on, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday about all of the players that are playing on Sunday. So it's a lot of fun, and to see those guys getting some money, getting that paycheck with a new contract, it's always fun to see.
Brian, we're in the middle of the greatest Tiger football era ever, and it's not ending.
No.
And this year could be the most historic year ever. What I learned today, the 4 coaches of the number 1 seeds, the pressure, it's on them. The pressure's on Matt Painter. It's all he lacks at Purdue for legendary status. Kelvin Sampson has legendary status, can only buttress it with adding Houston's first national title ever. Hubert Davis already been to a Final Four at North Carolina. That's the expectation there. He knows it better than anyone. And then Dan Hurley can really enter rarefied air.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. What I could have done without, I saw this earlier today, and I'm saying I could have done without it because I don't really know how I feel about it yet. The NBA is adding live betting to NBA League Pass. So whether you're watching on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone, there will be a way you can watch it where you can have the live odds for whatever game you're watching on the screen. And from what I understand, reading and watching, you will link your account, whether it be, it looks like on here, DraftKings and FanDuel are going to be the ones that they're running with, at least to start out. But you can have your account linked. And so right from where you're watching on League Pass, you can bet on a money line, on a spread. I'm sure totals will be in there as well. And they'll be updating in real time. I think the idea is fun. I think, it's very easy nowadays with phones to make bets, but that's where I'm going with it, because I think there are a lot of people out there that have problems with gambling, especially when it comes to sports, or might be on the verge of having problems with it. And something like that where it's right there and you're just watching that game, it can get out of hand very quickly, and I could see people sitting there watching those odds change and just continuously clicking and trying to win, and then at the end of the night, a lot of losses. So you got to be careful if that does come to fruition.
And everything starts out in the name of fun.
Sure does. Always.
And then it hits. What I could have done without people critical of turning down NIT bids. It's meaningless, and it has been. It means less than the Cure Bowl or the Idaho Potato Bowl or the Boca Raton Bowl. I'm so glad people are waking up to that. It hadn't mattered. The NIT hadn't mattered in 50 years.
Really, it has not, but it gets kicked off tonight. A handful of games in the NIT. Where are you beaming tonight?
Dayton, best Dayton games I think ever, and I hope Colorado and Colorado State fans play nice, getting along well. Howard and Wagner, that tips in about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm, it sure does, and that's where I'm beaming. Colorado State, Virginia should be fun, but I'm really looking forward to Wagner and Howard. Like I said earlier, I got to see Howard play a little bit in their conference tournament and liked what I saw. So I think they win tonight and should be easy. But
where is Wagner? Do you know?
It's in the Northeast. I don't know exactly where it is, but I do know.
I know Howard's in Washington, D.C., in one of the most stately, beautiful, historic campuses you'll ever see.
Let's see. Wagner University.
I'm not sure. Are they the Eagles?
They are the Seahawks.
Seahawks. I was close.
They're in New York.
Bird.
You are. No, Bird is correct. They're in New York, so Northeast area, playing in the NEC. I don't think they're very good.
I want to see Virginia's offense. We know what they can do on D. Let's see if they can generate any offense. NBA tonight on NBA TV. Denver at Minnesota at 8 o'clock. Both are 47 and 21. They're going for the 2 seed, and they're not far from the 1 seed. The top 3 in the West. Yeah. They can't start relaxing. They can't start resting. They got to go for that 1 seed.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's funny, kind of thinking back to the conversations we had at the beginning of the season where it seemed like it was a couple teams in the West and everybody else was struggling. And now that we're to the end of the season, the West is looking very, very tough. You mentioned the NBA games. I guess if you're into the NIT, we've got a handful of NIT games tonight. Brett, the CIT kicks off tonight. It's
how'd I miss it?
How'd you miss it? 2 games tonight.
Do I get it on any? No, on regular TV? Nothing.
No, it's going to be on ESPN Plus, so you got to have the Plus to watch it. You mentioned the NBA games, and tomorrow
Keep me live updated with text on the CIT tonight, please.
Brett, can't promise you it. I cannot promise
you got a real life.
Can't promise I'll be watching the NIT.
But we love this stuff, but I mean, the CIT is really pushing us.
I will be watching the NIT before I watch the CIT. I can assure you of that. And tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., Major League Baseball.
Play ball.
Earlier than everybody else.
Take me out to the ball.
That's right. But Dodgers and Padres, I guess if you're crazy enough or have to wake up early, you can watch that one. I will be recording it and watching it later, but it should be a fun night. NCAA tournament kicks off. Enjoy your night. Coming up next, we've got coverage of Ole Miss and Southern Miss pregame. We'll start here at 5:30, that first pitch at 6 o'clock. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.